Hey, y'all, I'm Kip Allen. I play for Devin Dawson. I play drums, and you're watching DrumChats TV.
You got my number, you can call on me. If you in trouble, put the fall on me. When you're mad, you can take it out on me.
Hey everybody, you're watching DrumChats TV. This is Travis, and I'm sitting in front of my friend Kip, who's a drummer for Devin Dawson. Kip, how you doing, man?
Good. How about y'all? Or you?
All is well, man.
To everyone listening.
Happy New Year. I know we're a couple weeks into it, but what's been going on in your world, man? You've been at home. Have y'all been on the road lately? What's going on so far?
Yeah, so we've had the month off, which has been nice. They're doing some acoustic shows, so I've had time to really dig into some session world stuff back at home, which has been really fun. But yeah, mostly just playing drums on people's songs. So it's
Cool,
kind of
man.
been my month.
When do you guys head out for the next run?
We'll head out on the second leg of our headlining tour on the 30th. We leave that
Okay.
night, I think.
Okay. Are
But-
y'all taking anybody on tour with y'all? Like,
Yeah,
opening
we've got
anything?
Jillian Jacqueline opening up for us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's great. I still haven't
Awesome.
figured out if she's full band or not, but her drummer's awesome too.
Sweet, man.
Good
Um,
dudes.
How long is that tour going?
It's about a month and a half. So
Okay.
it'll be mostly
bad.
like Thursday through or Saturdays and
Okay.
like 3-4 shows a week. But
Okay.
yeah, it'll be good.
Cool, man.
Good to get Devin out there playing some clubs and headlining, and it's good to headline and have time to stretch out and not be rushed and worried about the headliner.
Yeah,
But it's
that's
nice.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. I love hearing how, like, I know how I started playing drums. Let's talk about you. What got you playing drums? Like, how old were you, and some of the influences that may have gotten you get there? What's your story?
Yeah, so I was about, I want to say like 11 years old, and hilariously enough, I actually started on guitar. I just liked music, and I picked up a guitar just randomly. I got like a little Squire Strat or something. It was pink. It was like hot
Nice.
pink too. It wasn't just like baby pink. It was like pink.
Yeah.
And I was playing it for a couple months, and I went over to my buddy's house who had a drum set, and we were going to jam, and we decided to switch. And I was playing drums and he was playing guitar just for fun. And both of us realized, okay, like this feels way more comfortable. So about a month later, I got a drum set and I sold him my guitar.
Oh, cool, man.
So it was pretty cool. And he still plays guitar to this day, and obviously I still play drums. But yeah, some like influences that I guess I kind of like saw early on. Like I listened to a lot of like rock and punk and metal. That was like a lot of my early days. So, I mean, this may sound embarrassing, but I'm not embarrassed of it because he's an incredible drummer. But Travis Barker was one of my like first
Oh yeah.
like big influences, and like Mike who drums for Green Day? Oh geez.
Trey Cool.
Trey Cool. I almost said Mike Dirnt. I'm like, he plays bass. Yeah, Trey was a big influence in like the rock world. Dave Grohl, just the way he plays and hits, and it's so crazy. But yeah, that was kind of like an early picture of how I got started. But I did a lot of band stuff, like middle school and high school, all the drumline, all 4 years. So it kind of like shaped my playing early on.
Okay.
But I never really took drum set lessons until I got to college.
Sure.
But yeah, I did a little bit of jazz through high school, but not a lot. And none of my schools really pushed drum set. I kind of had to do it on my own.
Okay.
But I would say learning all the technique from all my classical playing and playing in school band and drumline, like that really helped for me to help like understand like what to do behind the drum set
Okay. Did
properly.
when you went to what college did you go to for?
I went to Belmont in Nashville.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Did you major in like drum performance, or what was your major?
Precisely.
That's what
Yeah,
it was.
It was
Okay.
commercial, like, yeah, commercial drum. I don't know. Commercial percussion. That was what it was called.
Does that what do you think it would have been like had you not gone to school for that? Like where you are today, do you think like how do you think your life might have been different had you not gone to school for specifically for drums? Like do you think that was a major part in playing and where you're at right now?
I would say absolutely. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Hence, because this could be off track, but I met Devin the first day of school.
Oh,
He was
right
in
on.
my dorm on my floor.
Yeah.
That's how I met Devin. So kind of crazy clashing of worlds, but um, I I don't know. It could have been different, but I think the big difference could have been that Belmont got me to Nashville.
Okay.
I don't know where I would have ended up if I didn't go to Belmont, or if I
Okay.
just didn't go to college. I don't really know where I would have ended up.
Okay.
But I think I knew deep down that I needed to be in a city or a town that had strong musical presence.
Sure.
So I probably would have ended up in New York, LA, or Nashville eventually.
Okay.
But I think Nashville was good. I mean, Belmont was good because it got me to Nashville before those really important young years.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically grew as an adult, as some would say, in Nashville. So I like learned the ropes of the music industry, or the initial beginning ropes. I don't want to say I know what it is, but yeah, I guess that's kind of that. I don't know if that answers that question.
No, yeah, no, it does for sure. And speaking of Devin, and you guys meeting your first day, were you with him kind of from the beginning of his career, or had he already kind of started and then you kind of tagged along
So
after a while?
when he got to college, he was already songwriting. That's what he majored in.
Okay.
So he got there to songwrite, and actually a buddy of ours was drumming for him at the time, and he decided to pursue more of a business route about maybe like 3/4 of the way through our freshman year.
Okay.
And Devin would always hear me playing down the hall. He always tells me this story. It's like I would hear him and he's like, I want that guy playing drums for me, once the other guy stepped down.
Sure.
And the funny thing is I wanted to play drums for him too. So it was kind of this like, oh, we both want the same thing. Like, let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't really doing much other than just songwriting at the time. And he was really like folk acoustic. I was only playing like kick, snare, hat with brushes and like a fluffy beater.
Okay.
Like that was like most of our shows.
Yeah.
And then one day he wrote a country, like kind of like a more pop country song, and he showed us all. And he's like, what do you guys think of this? Like, I don't really know. And we were all like, that's pretty sick. And so he kind of started writing more like that. And just from there, yeah. So I would say I was there from somewhat of the beginning.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Devin's journey, I mean, he was touring in metal bands long before college. So
Okay.
I definitely wasn't from the beginning.
Sure. Sure.
But I would say the beginning of his like more like modern country route, yeah, I was there from the beginning of that.
So, growing up playing in bands in high school, did you tour any before you met Devin?
Yeah, so I toured in metal bands through like mostly in like the southern states, so like Texas and Arkansas and Oklahoma, Louisiana, kind of those like lower couple states. We would tour around those a lot, mostly on the weekends, and then the summers as well. But
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of the extent of my touring. I mean, we would do a couple weeks at a time, so that was cool. I mean, we were in a pickup truck with a U-Haul trailer, just like sleeping in the bed of the truck. It was rough, but
Yeah.
it was super fun.
Let's talk about your gear. What's your kit setup? What's your cymbal setup?
Yeah.
I know you endorse a couple companies. Let's talk about your rig.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
So right now, I play DW Collector Series maple drums. I just played one up, one down, kick, snare, and a side snare.
Okay.
And then I guess, do you want to know like specifics on those, or?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, the snare is like a solid shell maple snare. Things freaking cracks like crazy. It's wild. The shell is like super thick, but because it's like a single, it doesn't have a cut, so it's like steam bent. But and then just two toms, just maple 12/9 and 16/14 and 22/18 kick right now.
Okay.
But looking to change up some sizes and change up some shell configurations here pretty soon. But we're working on that. But and then the side snare is like I tune it, I just crank the living crap out of it and just have it as like almost like a popcorn side snare. But yeah, and for cymbals I do Zildjian. 22 Constantinople ride, and then 2 Avidus crashes,
Okay.
19 and 20, and then 15 Carope hats.
Okay.
But yeah, really like a really eclectic blend of cymbals. I've been noticing lately the crashes. I'm not in love with them, but they really cut really well for live because like everyone's always. I've always hated A customs. I just not a fan of the shiny bright thing. So I've
Sure.
always, but they work really well in a live situation.
Yeah.
It's like you hear them out front and you're like, wow, those A customs sound really good. Like they cut through the mix really well, but they're not abrasive. So I wanted to find a cymbal that could do that without chopping my head off behind the kit. So the Avidus crashes kind of do that. And
Okay.
I've always loved big, like dark, washy rides. So the Constantinople was an obvious choice. And then
Yeah.
for hats, I really like my hats to be out of the way. I almost want you to like feel the hats and like just kind of like feel that they're there other than it being like, like
Yeah.
in your face. So it's kind of where the Caropes came from. But yeah, it's interesting culmination of cymbals. Like when I ordered them, they were kind of like, okay, like you definitely did some research. I'm like, we're just going to try this out and see what happens.
Sure.
But they've been working. I like them. I think
Okay.
the only thing I may change is I may change the crashes eventually, just because
Yeah.
I'm super picky on crashes. But
Have to
it
be,
is
right?
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I use Evans drum heads at the moment.
Okay.
But
What do you use on the batter side?
on the batter, I use G2 coateds for the toms, and then
Okay.
I've got a G14 on the snare, which is just a thicker one ply. I think I may back it down to a G12 though.
Okay.
But I was using the UV1s. I really like them. They're
Yeah.
cool. I mean, to each their own.
Sure.
They kind of cut the tone a little bit, which was actually kind of nice for the DWs because they have so much tone because
Yeah.
they're maple and they just ring for days if you're not careful.
Right.
But yeah, the UV ones like kind of helped to deaden that up. But I had them on the toms as well, but I just switched back to G2s, and I think I'm a little
Okay.
happier with that.
Nice.
But yeah, on the snare, I think it's a really cool snare head.
Okay.
I would suggest it to a lot of people, but I tried the G12 just because it's a little different.
Sure.
I'm just trying different flavors, trying to figure out what I like. I also
Yeah.
like to keep it fresh. Same heads get old.
Yeah, for sure. Well, do you use clear or coated on bottom?
I use clear. It's G1s. Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep it simple.
No-
I've tried the coated on the bottom. I like it,
Yeah.
but sometimes it cuts a little too much for me. It
Okay.
like kind of like cuts that. It makes them. I can't like explain it,
Mm-hmm.
but it makes them like not duller because that's like a harsh word, but it makes them. I don't know. I like lose some of the like brightness of the toms that I like
Yeah.
that help them to cut because toms can get lost in a mix really quick.
Sure.
And with Devin's set, toms are really important. There's a
Yeah.
lot of moments that happen with the toms that need to be heard.
Okay.
And in my opinion, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could be
No,
wrong.
for sure. Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with heads. And then I actually just switched on the kick head to the Evans. Oh shoot. Excuse my names. I can't remember. It's the one with the big like circle, the
EMAD?
muffling, the EMAD.
Yeah.
I just switched to that and sounds super good.
Was it a clear as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like the EMAD, when you're on top of it, it sounds super like scooped and almost weird. It's like when I first put it on, I was like, I don't know if that sounds good. And then I had one of my bandmates hit it when I like walked out front. I was like, oh, it
Yeah.
just sounds like I wanted it to sound.
Right.
But it's weird. Like when I use that head, it's like on top of it, I have to remember like it doesn't necessarily sound like that,
yeah.
but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool head.
What you're a DW player. I've had this conversation with people before. Do you play well, first of all, do you play a single or double pedal?
I just single.
You do
Actually-
Go ahead.
You're about to ask what pedal it is.
5,000 or 9,000?
Neither.
Neither.
I actually play the machine drive the chain drive one.
Right
the machine chain drive. It's like the MCD, I think is what it's called. When they first released it, I got like my rep at DW sent me an email and he was like, hey, like I know you've been kind of like searching for a new pedal.
Yeah.
I know you're not like super fond of it. I mean, I really like the 9000s. Like I've actually been tempted to switch back to it just because I like the way it feels.
Sure.
But he was like, hey, like I've got this new MCD thing coming out. Would you want to be like one of the first people to get one and like try it and like post about it? And I was like, yeah, like 100%. So I think I was like the third or fourth person to get one.
Right on.
Which was kind of cool, but made me feel special. But no, it's a really cool pedal. It's definitely, it's longer. Like the baseboard, the foot pedal board is longer. So I liked that a lot because I have big feet. So it's just like, ugh. But yeah, but I definitely had to take a lot of time to really dial it in to where I like it because it's so smooth that it's way, to me, it's way smoother than a 9000, but it's a little like lighter than a 9000. So I had to almost like beef it up in a way to like make it heavier. So I put a different beater on it that was a little heavier, and that really helped out.
Okay. My co-host Dave and I talk on our podcast. We had an episode on like hardware and kick pedals and stuff. We talked about the machine drive or the direct drive or whatever it is. But
right.
And the first time I'd ever seen one was recently. I told you I worked at Drum Paradise outside of this, and Chris McHugh was the first one that I had seen who had one. And I was like, this thing looks like it came off of a spaceship. And
it's wild.
Yeah. But I wondered how smooth it was compared to, because like it seemed like the 9000 for a long time was like the cream of the crop, and people were like, it's so smooth, it reacts to everything you do. And then whenever I saw that, I was like, well, there's no linkages at all other than just this. But you said machine chain. Is that the same thing? Is it like
same thing,
drive?
But it's got a chain. It's not direct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's a little different. It throws a little differently. Okay. Because I played the direct for a minute, and I wasn't a fan. Okay. But I also came from playing an Axis double pedal. Do you know what Axis are? Mm-hmm. I came from playing those, and I played those for years because I was in metal, and that was like kind of the cool thing. I was like, ooh, I have Axis double pedal. Like, look at me. But I actually pulled them out the other day. I still have them. They're all like rusty and beat to crap.
Yeah.
But I remember I switched to a GW pedal, and I was like, oh, like this is what I've been missing out on. Because I was only doing singles, so I was like, I don't need this thing that is the direct drive Axis pedal.
Sure.
But I knew I didn't want to go direct drive anymore. I wanted to go back to chain.
Okay.
Something about it, I don't know. It almost lacks a little bit of like response. Yeah. But in a good way. Yeah. Because direct drive pedals are the most responsive thing. Like if you like look at it, it hits the kick pedal, it hits the kick drum. It's like, right. Like, why'd you do that? Yeah. But I feel like with a chain, like is it more barbaric? It's like a little more like, I gotta like hit this thing to make it like do what I want it to do. Sure. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. But I mean, not knocking the direct drive. It's to each their own. Yeah. It's a great pedal. They're all great pedals. It's just, I mean, I know guys that play the DW 3000 pedal, and they're like, they swear by it. They're like, that's my pedal. I'm like, dope. Right. That's what you should play then.
Well, like you said, to each their own. Like feel is like if it feels good to you and it helps you play better, then it makes sense. Right. You said you put a heavier beater on it. What kind of beater are you using?
I actually use I think it's the Innovative Percussion. I think it's the Chris McHugh beater.
Oh, okay.
It's that black yarn one. Uh-huh. Isn't that Chris's beater?
I don't know. I'm not sure off the top of my head.
But it's amazing.
Okay.
It's incredible. I remember I saw like someone using it in a video, and I was like, what is that thing? Yeah. And I went into Forks and picked one up, and I was like, I fell in love with it. It's got like the right attack that I was looking for. Yeah. But yeah, it's great.
Did you discover the right attack after you bought it? It was just like a curiosity thing for you when you bought it, or was it like?
Yeah, I went through about 10 different beaters in about 2 months just to. I went on a little tirade, and I was like, all right, what's going to work for me in the moment? Sure. And tried all sorts. And I mean, the GW beaters have always been great. Yeah. But the beater that it came with, I didn't love for what I was trying to go for. Sure. So it didn't like it was super light and super agile, which I was like, I don't necessarily want that because I'm not playing like super fast technical stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need something that's a little more beefy, a little more body.
Right.
And that beater won. So
well, because the direct, well, like the direct drive, and I'm guessing the machine drive too, machine chain drive, they don't have the traditional DW
no.
two-sided one, right?
No.
Okay.
It's like a circle, maybe like inch and a half, and it's you could put weights in it. Like there's little, like it comes with little, like I guess copper weights.
Oh, okay.
That you can put in and out. It's really neat. I mean, you can like adjust. There's like a thing that comes up the shaft of it that you can like tighten and put it in different places that make it feel different.
Huh.
It's really
Wow.
It's really innovative. It's really cool. I probably just didn't give it enough of a chance, but I initially didn't like the way that it hit.
Yeah.
Not the way that it felt. So I was like, well, if I don't like the way it sounds, like I'm going to change it to something else.
Sure.
And yeah.
What
I mean, but like same thing, to each their own. It just wasn't the sound I was going for.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me. I'm like, if it's got to sound right.
Yeah.
It can look like anything. I don't care what it looks like. It's just got to sound right.
Well, I feel like it's like with anything, I think a lot of people tend to gravitate towards what's trending, or people kind of put just like a standard over it. Well, this is the best. And it's like, well,
right.
I think that's preference, you know, like whatever works for you at the end of the day.
Right.
What sticks are you using? Do you endorse a stick company?
I don't.
No, okay.
I don't. Right now I'm using Vic-Firths. I've been playing 5Bs, but I just went and bought a brick of the X55As, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
They're a little longer, but like a super small, like skosh lighter than a 5B.
Okay.
I like them. I like a longer stick because I tend to choke way back on the stick. I don't know why, but it's kind of like what comes naturally. So if I have a longer stick, I don't choke back as far, and I get a better fulcrum, and I get a better. It's weird. It also doesn't hurt. Like it doesn't, like you don't take as much of the shock in your hand if on a stick, because if you're in the back, all that shock is arm. But if you're in the middle of it, you can like let it rebound and it'll absorb it a little better.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean sticks. Yeah, that I change a lot. I'm still kind of like searching for what feels the best in my hand, and hence why I went and bought a brick of like one stick. I was like taking a chance on it for sure, because I was like, I got to live with this stick for a while. I'm gonna go buy a brick of them. And yeah, I'm not endorsed. I mean, I just went to Guitar Center and bought a brick of them. It's just like I'm supporting the companies. So, but I played ProMark for a long time and played Innovative for a little bit, played all of them, and now I just starting with Vic-Firth. I'm like, I don't know, let's go to Vic-Firth. Let's see what's going on over here. But I know the acquisition of Zildjian and Vic-Firth just happened, so they're kind of like a joint company now. But so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's an interesting. It's interesting how like endorsements work with that. It's like when you sign with one company, it's like they kind of want you to sign with all their companies. But it's an interesting world.
I've wondered that with guys who like play ProMark but don't play Evans,
and
you know, because they're all
not the end of the world. I mean,
sure.
From what I've heard, I mean, I'm only officially with DW, and
okay.
Yeah,
which is huge.
It's crazy. I'm super fortunate, super lucky to be with such a cool company. But yeah, like in like the market of where a lot of companies are right now, like most of them aren't really signing people. So it's just interesting. So I've just kind of been like, well, like I don't mind buying the stuff, so I'll just go buy it and support the companies until they feel like they want to support me too. But
sure. Well, let's dive into that a little bit. Because Garrett and I talked. You know Garrett Goodwin, and he and I've talked about that a little bit. And I was listening to a podcast of drummer Steve Carey from Census Fail. We're actually going to have him on the show hopefully in a couple weeks. But I heard his story because he endorses DW now. And what was that process like for you? And the reason I ask is because I feel like I hear a lot of drummers talking about like, oh, I want to endorse Zildjian or endorse DW, and it seems like that becomes their end goal. Where I've talked to a lot of guys who do endorse these companies, and they're like, don't make
No,
that
it
your
shouldn't be.
goal. What's your take on that? Or either what's your take on that, or